my number one most important Giant, besides Saquon and Daniel Jones, is
once a Giant, always a Giant. For me, it's only a Giant.
What's up, YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you want more content like this. Like the video if you like the video, and I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So this will be the 5 players that can determine if the Giants will make the playoffs. Obviously, I left Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley off because those guys are no-brainers. The list wouldn't be much fun. 2 spots will be taken up. Giants haven't been in the playoffs since 2016, since that whole boat trip thing where they let Eli down because Eli came to play that playoff game and receivers were nowhere to be found, dropping passes all over the place. I forgot what the running back's name was, but Bobby Rainey ran out of bounds on the kickoff. It was just awful. But to start this off, let me know who you think the number one most valuable player is besides Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Write that down in the comments. I'll give you time. No, take your time. Write it down. I'll wait. Okay, so hopefully you guys wrote that down. For my number 5, it's actually a trio of players, and you'll understand why. I have O'Shane Ximines, Lorenzo Carter, and Kyler Fackrell. Marcus Golden, I expect to put up 9 to 12 sacks. To be respectable, you usually want around 40 sacks. So Marcus Golden is going to give us 9 to 12. I'm expecting the interior to give us about 10 to 12. So that leaves around 20-something sacks. So this trio has to come up with 20 sacks. So whether that be 6.5 apiece, whether it be 7 apiece, whether it be one player just, going over 10. Kyler Fackrell has done that before. So we'll see where it comes from, but this trio must come up with a consistent pass rush, even more than the sacks. We need a consistent pass rush from this trio. And I think if they can all get somewhere between 5 to 7 sacks, we're going to be in good shape. And if Kyler Fackrell can have another good season, or Ximines or Carter can have a breakout season, we're in really good shape. For number 4, I have Xavier McKinney. Now, he's only a rookie, but we drafted him to play that role that we all thought that Isaiah Simmons would play if he came to the Giants. And that's the guarding the tight ends role. He's lining up. He should be able to match up against these guys. And depending on how well he does against these tight ends is going to determine a lot. Because if we can limit the middle of the field, that will be the first time we've been able to guard a tight end in who knows how long. Maybe Michael Boley. Even then we had Jason Witten run all over the place. But Xavier McKinney guarding those tight ends and covering that deep half of the field at free safety when he plays back there is going to be extremely important. And both of those roles are really important. So him doing that is going to allow our defense it's one less hole, because we already lost DeAndre Baker. And if we lose DeAndre Baker and we're dealing with issues on one side of the field, and then Xavier McKinney isn't guarding the tight ends, and then he's also not doing his responsibilities at free safety, that makes the defense exponentially worse. So Xavier McKinney's slotted at number 4, and I think that he'll have a good season. And if he can be a playmaker there, shut down some tight ends, it'll be a great pick. Number 3, what do you have to do? You have to guard the tight ends, and you need to tight end yourself. Luckily, the Giants have one of the most dynamic tight ends in the league. All he needs to do is stay on the field. By the way, you can check out my video on Evan Ingram, a little bit of a preview. I showed one of his highlight catches. He's been impressing so far. So I don't have any wood to knock on, but hopefully he can stay healthy. And like I said, check that video out. But Evan Ingram he's one of the most explosive players in the league. Definitely in the top 2 or 3 most explosive tight ends. Darren Waller's up there, George Kittle's up there. But as far as agility, he reminds me of, not personal wise, but he reminds me of Aaron Hernandez, except a lot faster. And If he can establish himself as a #1 tight end, as the #1 receiving option on the Giants, that will open up things for everyone else. Because if you have someone dominant running the seams that they have to pay attention to, that leaves the slot open for Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate. It leaves the outsides for Darius Slayton, because if their safety's cheating inside, then that's one extra step for Darius Slayton out on the outside. So if Evan Ingram can be that guy who's looked at as a possession tight end, as the home run tight end, then the Giants offense will pretty much be unstoppable, because you'll have a dominant run game, you'll have a mobile quarterback who can extend plays, and you'll also have Darius Slayton on the outside and slot receivers who can capitalize pretty much from the space that you're leaving, because you have to commit extra guys to stop that tight end. So at number 2, our new free agent cornerback, James Bradberry. And James Bradberry is going to be really, really important, because DeAndre Baker, who I wanted to eventually be that #1 corner, or maybe we have 2 #1 corners and they just don't have to switch sides, he's probably not going to play again. Seeing that he just got charged, he's still saying he's innocent, and we'll see how it works out. If he is innocent, I hope he gets out, hope he can come back to the NFL. But for now, we don't know. And most likely he won't play this year. James Bradberry cannot be a bust free agency wise, because if he's not a solid #1 corner, if he can't at least limit the #1 receivers, then the secondary is a complete no-show. There's no way we can defend anybody, because at that point we'd be depending on Darnay Holmes. We'd be depending on a lot of guys who aren't proven. And we're already really thin at corner. We need a healthy season from Bradberry, and we need a productive season. We need turnovers from him. But most of all, we just need him to not get beat. Just don't give up the big plays, and pretty much what he's already done. If he can do that, then James Bradberry will solidify that defense on that. Whatever side he lines up in, I'm pretty sure it'll be the left defensive side, or I think he also follows receivers. So if he can do that, then that's less to worry about, because we're going to have to already worry about that second corner spot and the slot. My #1 most important Giant, besides Saquon and Daniel Jones, is our rookie tackle, Andrew Thomas. If Andrew Thomas is bad this year, if he's horrible, then you can cancel Christmas. The season's over. We're not making the playoffs, because we need someone to protect the blind side of the quarterback. We need someone to come in and continue to establish that hard-nosed running game. And if he cannot be at least solid this year, that's going to be really hard to do. Because Nate Solder, we saw, he led the league in pressures given up. He led the league in sacks given up with 11. If Andrew Thomas can cut that in half, or if he can have maybe a rough season at the start but get better progressively as the season goes on, then our offense, guys, we have a lot of offensive weapons. I know we want that other outside receiving threat, but we're lining up Saquon Barkley in the backfield, Daniel Jones at quarterback. The offensive line, even without Andrew Thomas, was getting solid last year. We only needed that guy to not be horrible on the left tackle spot. You're trotting out Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, who all are guys who, as #2 threats, I think all 3 of those guys have gotten 800 yards before, and Golden Tate isn't washed yet. Darius Slayton, coming off of a dynamic rookie season where he didn't really get to play the whole season as a starter. And those are 4, dynamic weapons. Golden Tate, even at his advanced age, has been taking short routes and taking them to the house. And Saquon Barkley, in my opinion, is the best running back in the league. He might be the best offensive threat in the league if there wasn't superheroes like Lamar Jackson and Mahomes and all of those crazy people running around. So those are my top 5. Let me know what you think about this. Did I get this wrong? Type your top 5 down in the comments. If you haven't already typed your #1 most important. It's D546. If you lasted this long into the videos, go ahead, do us all a favor, hit that subscribe button. More Giants content coming. Can't wait for this week 1. I'm out.